This is it. The clock is running out on the baseball season. This is your last chance to grab a rookie who can help you down the stretch and maybe pull out a victory in your fantasy league. Let's talk about a couple rookies who've just gotten the call and are ready, doing some things at the major league level, and a couple of guys I still think could have some value the last 2 weeks. It didn't take long for Luis Angel Acuna to make a splash in New York. And if that last name sounds familiar, it should. We're talking little bro here. Ronald Acuna's brother just debuted for the Mets. And already, like I said, having an impact. His first game, he went 2 for 4, pretty good. Followed up with an 0 for 3. And then he went 3 for 4 with his first big league home run and was actually a triple shy of the cycle. Now, we're not going to pretend that he necessarily has Ronald Acuna upside. I don't know if I see 70 steals or, 40, 50 home runs, especially in his future, but it doesn't matter. Let's just look this year, right here, right now, the last 2 weeks. Yeah, he's got value. Now, he was actually not even the Mets' top prospect. He's the number 12 in that organization, but he's getting a shot. He's playing short, filling in for Lindor. And again, already flashing some power, got some speed. We know this. He's swiped 40 bags already and scored 90 times this season at the AAA level before getting called up. While this certainly doesn't feel like a one-to-one replacement for Frankie Lindor, hey, you could do a whole lot worse. Right now, you're looking for somebody to get you through this final run here. Again, speed, power. He's hitting ninth in the order. I mean, that's really the only thing not to like here, but I have a feeling that could change pretty soon. Another middle infielder who was just recalled a couple of days ago is actually someone I talked about a month ago, right after the trade deadline. That's Nick York, who could be the future keystone for the Bucks. A former Red Sox prospect, York was flipped to the Pirates, and I thought he might get called up a little bit sooner. Didn't happen until just now, and they're going to give him a chance to audition for that role, and he's off to a good start as well. On Tuesday night, he went 3 for 4 with 3 singles. He also had a steal in his very first game despite going over 3. Now, York, has kind of a well-rounded bat here. He can hit for average. He's got some pop, not a power hitter per se, but he can get you maybe 15, 20 home runs over the course of a season next year, and a little bit of speed as well. This year, in 472 at-bats at both double and triple-A level, he hit 303 with 12 homers, 72 RBIs, and 21 steals. But as soon as that deal was made to this organization, his bat just got even hotter. He actually hit 355 at Indianapolis. York seems like a guy who is ready for the bigs, and again, right now, could get you a little bit of everything at second base, which hasn't been the best position for fantasy at all this season. York is definitely worth an audition on your squad if you need help. And then the third guy who's just gotten his shot. I know we wouldn't be excited normally about somebody who's at the lower end of the prospect rankings for the White Sox, but hey, you need a shot for pitching. Sean Burke actually acquitted himself pretty well in his first major league start. Now he's the 29th prospect in that farm system. We've seen a lot of those arms come up, get a chance. Some of them did okay, some of them not so much. Hello, Nick Nastrini. Well, Sean Burke is going to get a chance to start again because this coming Sunday he's going to face the Padres. Now, in his first start, he did go 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, got 5 punch-outs, not too bad. He has 4 above average pitches, so a nice pitch mix there. Velocity isn't amazing, but he does have a really high strikeout rate throughout his minor league career. In fact, 31% K rate at Charlotte AAA. The downside, of course, is command, consistently posting over double-digit percentage walk rate at the minor league level. So it's going to be a work in progress, right? There will be ups and downs. Again, if he can get you a spot start or 2, maybe 3 over the end of this season, that could help you out in a deeper league. And with very little time to spare here for some of these teams still angling to try to make a wild card berth, let's look at maybe a couple of players who could push to at least be a bench bat, maybe a couple of starts here and there and make an impact. Could a guy like Roman Anthony help the Red Sox sometime this year? He is now their number 2 prospect. Marcelo Mayor is technically still the number 1 guy there, but Roman Anthony could get called up sooner. He has been lighting up since he got to AAA. In just over 100 at-bats at the AAA level since getting promoted, hitting 327, almost as many walks as strikeouts. Some scouts have Anthony graded at 70 for raw power, which he is not yet really tapped into, Of course, being only 20 years old is part of it. It's going to take some time before he really develops into a full-fledged stud. But look, we're talking about the last week or two of the season. If he is able to somehow work into a platoon, no, there's not really an obvious opening in that Red Sox lineup right now. Hopefully nobody gets injured, like Tyler O'Neill again. But you never know what happens here. These teams who just need some sort of a spark could do something like this. Maybe Williar Abreu sits. I don't know. But Roman Anthony has definitely got what it takes to help this club if they need something to get them over the hump. Now, while the Milwaukee Brewers don't need any help, their division is pretty much wrapped up at this point. You got to wonder, is there a chance their number one prospect and top pitcher in the minors, Jacob Mizorowski, can help them, but not as a starter? Frankie Montas has done a good enough job kind of shoring up the end of that rotation. And again, at this point, not really a need, but you got to wonder here with Mizorowski, a guy who has electric stuff, probably one of the best fastball slider combos in the entire minor leagues. And he just hasn't had that command. Again, the K rate is high, but so is the walk rate. In fact, 30% strikeout rate, but a walk rate near 15%. And I'm not just talking this year, I'm talking the last couple. Given his, penchants for wildness and also the fact he might be near his innings limit, this guy's had some arm trouble, including early this year, you got to wonder, could they call him up as a bullpen arm? And hey, they don't need a closer right now, but they've had some injuries in the middle of that bullpen, so could be a guy who gives you some value for holds if you're in a saves plus holds league, and just some strikeout upside to kind of shore up your bullpen. It may not happen, but man, it would be really interesting to see what he looks like if he's maybe their next right-handed version of a Josh Hader. And if you're looking for a starting pitcher who could be, let's say, another Rhett Lauder, high-end prospect who gets a shot in the rotation here over the final couple of weeks, let's stick in Cincinnati and look for a guy who's gone all the way from the Daytona Tortugas up to Louisville and possibly could end up with the Reds. That's Chase Petty, their number 8 overall prospect and most effective pitcher now that Rhett Lauder has been called up in the minors. Now, he was just promoted to AAA level on September 11th, so I understand if they don't maybe promote him right away this soon. But his first start there, he was just fine. 2 runs in 5 innings. And this is a guy who has a superior slider that could definitely play up. I mean, at the Reds at this point, why not give a guy like this a chance to get a taste of the bigs, a little cup of coffee? I know that park factor is not enticing. And look, their schedule really isn't that enticing either, to be honest. But again, 1 start, maybe 2. You're looking for a swing here and, a head-to-head league, a guy who can possibly pull out a quality start to win, gets some K upside here. Chase Petty does have the pedigree. And I'll just say, even if there's not room on your roster for any one of these players, maybe they're not available, you just looking for next year, get some ideas of some prospects who might have value. Maybe you want to stash some keepers in a dynasty league or something like that. I'm going to give you some more help next week on that. Look for some players to stash. That's right, already looking ahead to 2025 as this year comes to an end. And if you're already looking to football because NFL season is here, maybe you play fantasy football, I hope you've already checked out our other channel. That is the Fantasy Football Endgame. You can subscribe and check out our latest videos right here.